Computex 2023 was held over the last few days in Taiwan, and there were some interesting topics and things I wanted to talk to you guys about which caught my attention. Let's discuss that in this video. This video is sponsored by SCD Keys. So you just recently built a gaming PC and are looking to get Windows installed and activated. Well, SCD Keys has got you covered. Over on their website, they offer great deals on various software and games. Right now, you can buy a Windows 10 Pro OEM key for just under $20. Simply click on the link in the video description, use promo code Danny when checking out, and get 25% off. The checkout process is very simple and straightforward, as they accept multiple methods. Along with that, delivery times for keys takes around 3 to 5 minutes. Then once you have your key, you're going to want to open your Windows 10 settings menu, click on Update and Security, and on the left, click on Activation. Then you'll want to click on Change Product Key, enter in your key. After that, you'll have an activated copy of Windows. You can also use this key to then upgrade to Windows 11 for free. You can also pick up a license for Office 2021 Professional, a software I use daily, and what's even better is you can use my offer code for another 25% off. Thank you to SCD Keys for sponsoring this video. Check them out in the video description. Hey, what is going on, guys? Danny here. Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you've all been doing well. Over this past week, we've had many various products and concepts that many tech companies and companies that work in the semiconductor industry showed off at Computex 2023. I'll be honest, while there was definitely a lot to be seen for what's to come in the future, the show itself didn't really seem all that exciting this time around, and that's probably because the major larger companies like Intel, AMD, and Nvidia didn't really have a lot to show off for consumers. I don't even think AMD had a booth there, or if they did, hardly anyone showed off anything from there. Though speaking of Nvidia, their CEO Jensen Huang delivered the opening keynote for the event, and I'm sure most of you guys have already seen the snippets or the memes from the conference, but unless you're super into AI or HPC, then you'll have found the vast majority of the keynote was probably boring to you.
The more you buy, the more you save. That's right. The more you buy, the more you save. The more you buy, the more you save. That's Nvidia. You don't have to understand the strategy. You don't have to understand the technology. The more you buy, the more you save. That's the only thing. The more you buy, the more you save. Artificial intelligence, AI, 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 AI. AI, 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 AI.
It seems like Nvidia's CEO just glossed over gaming and their GeForce GPUs during the event, and it all just seemed really out of touch with the reality. He was actually boasting about a graphics card that the entire tech press absolutely ridiculed Nvidia for. It wasn't exciting, and as I had said in my previous video, which I posted before the keynote, Nvidia's messaging is clear. They don't care about the consumer segment right now, and their focus is on the data center, HPC, and AI. Given the results from their latest earnings call, that decision would make sense as the revenue from that segment of the market is what made them the most money. Now we'll circle back to Computex in just a moment, but I wanted to talk about this article from Tom's Hardware posted on their site prior to the event. This article talks about how at a question and answer session with Nvidia and their CEO, they discussed the possibilities of future chips being produced by other manufacturers apart from TSMC. Jensen said that the company is working to diversify its chip manufacturing and had recently received good test results for an Intel test chip based on the company's next-gen process node. Here's what he had to say on the matter. You know that we also manufacture with Samsung, and we're open to manufacturing with Intel. Pat has said in the past that we're evaluating the process, and we recently received a test chip results of their next-generation process, and the results look good. It was quite an intriguing statement, but not one that you should be surprised to hear. In regards to TSMC's 3nm, they are going to have their hands full from not just Nvidia, but other clients who will be leveraging their latest process node for future generation products. Amongst those companies is Apple, who have a very large portfolio of products and segments they cater to, and they're usually their top client when it comes to how many wafers they order. Along with them, you've got companies like Qualcomm, AMD, and even Intel who have joined the fray not too long ago, as they have had issues issues with their own fabs. This strategy isn't something that hasn't been done before. I mean, just a few years ago, they did this exact setup with Ampere, where consumer graphics cards like the RTX 30 series were manufactured using Samsung's 8nm, which really was a tweaked 10nm node, and their top GA100 dies for the HPC market were manufactured over at TSMC. I could very well see Nvidia implementing a similar strategy for their next generation RTX 50 series, and no, that's not because they want to lower prices, but Jensen has alluded to being concerned with TSMC running at this high level of capacity, and with the ongoing tensions between Taiwan and China, they don't want to find themselves in a situation where they could have potential supply issues. One of the other reasons why they might not go with Samsung this time around is because when compared to TSMC, their nodes just aren't at the same level. Samsung's president has openly stated just last month that compared to TSMC's 3nm, they're about a year behind, and Samsung's track record when compared to TSMC's hasn't been as spot on. Though then again, neither has Intel's, especially these last 6 years for them. Even though Jensen recently stated he feels safe with TSMC, I could still see them diversifying. We'll find out as time goes on and what will happen 2 years from now. Moving on and back over at the main event in Taiwan, Computex 2023, I noticed that a lot of my YouTube feed seemed like there was a focus on cooling and cases. Don't get me wrong, some of the cases looked awesome, not just aesthetically, but also in terms of the airflow setup and unique designs that companies were bringing to market that we haven't seen before. But let's be real here, how often are you guys changing your cases, your CPU coolers, and case fans? To me, these are the set it and forget it type of components. In the summer of 2021, I migrated my components over to Thermaltake's View 51 case, and I did do a review of it on my channel if you're interested, but this is a type of case that I see myself writing out for several years, if not forever, unless some new standard comes along with motherboards or GPUs that it just cannot accommodate. But it's got everything that I need from a case, and down the road, if I want to do a full custom water loop, it'll be able to accommodate that as well. So I generally don't pay much attention to the PC case market throughout the year, so I guess this is a pretty good time to catch up with that stuff. Speaking of cooling though, if there was one thing that did catch my attention, it was this concept design from MSI. This was shared by MSI Japan and WCCF Tech, and basically what they've done here is they've built this cooler that has a form factor that's similar to what you'd see from a traditional AIB design, except instead of a large aluminum heatsink attached to the PCB, you have an AIO unit. AIOs have been used for CPUs for over a decade now, and we have seen some AIBs use them for custom GPU models, but not quite in this manner. Gamers Nexus on their channel made a video recently showing off a custom design by Acer, who are looking into getting into that market, and their design was also very similar. I'm kind of surprised that this wasn't brought to the market years ago, but I'm assuming due to costs and that there weren't too many cards that warranted this type of solution, it just wasn't necessary. However, as we've seen cards like the 3090 Ti, 4090, AMD's RX 7900 XTX when overclocked, these companies are getting comfortable with releasing large die GPUs to consumers with the high power limits, thus creating a lot of heat. To handle that, you'll need a beefy cooling solution, but you can't just keep increasing the sizes of the heatsink. That's just not practical. Nor does, everyone have enough space to accommodate multiple radiators. Though if you're buying a $1,600 GPU, I presume you've got a pretty decent case. Attaching the AIO directly to the GPU makes a lot of sense. I can see this component getting all those same benefits of liquid cooling, but just in a smaller footprint, and it'll no doubt work better with those higher TDP cards. Shifting away from cooling, other notable products that caught a bit of my interest were new motherboards from your typical CPU partners like MSI, ASRock, and Gigabyte. I did see a lot of people talking about newer models of Z790 motherboards, and some of the descriptions stating support for next generation Intel CPUs. Really what they're referring to is the Raptor Lake refresh, which I'm told will be called the 14th generation. It's confirmed that Meteor Lake, if they even make it to desktop that is, will be on a new socket. When it comes to Intel's Raptor Lake refresh, I'm actually looking forward to them, but not in the sense that you'd think I am, but again, this is a whole separate topic for another video. Apart from that, I personally didn't see much at Computex to be excited about. As mentioned earlier, when you have Intel, AMD, and Nvidia for the most part absent from the consumer space, then that's to be expected. The last thing I wanted to briefly talk about, and this was posted over at VideoCards, who are sourcing a Brazilian hardware modding team called Paulo Gomes, or Gomes, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, and they showed off a customized version of an RTX 3070 that was modded with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Now, we've seen some people modding RTX 3070s before to have double the VRAM capacity, the amount the card should have launched with, and the results shown in benchmarks have been very promising. A lot of the complaints and issues people have had with their RTX 3070s, 3070 Ti's or any 8GB card that was released last generation, particularly with new titles using ultra quality textures and ray tracing. Those problems have been alleviated because of the large VRAM buffer, and overall performance does improve quite a bit, especially when it comes to 1% and 0.1% lows. Frame time consistency is a lot better, so you end up with a smoother experience. But what makes their model unique is that there is a physical switch on the card that will allow you to run it in 8GB or 16GB mode. Although for gaming purposes, I'm not sure why you'd want to toggle in the first place. Perhaps it's there in case there are some issues with the modded VBIOS in some games where it just doesn't play nicely with the mod, and you can toggle it back to stock, I suppose. Funnily enough, there was also a video posted by a YouTube channel called TechLab who showcased a company called GXOR who had a booth set up at Computex and were displaying custom 16GB RTX 3070s, and no, these aren't designs that are approved by Nvidia. Nonetheless, I thought that was pretty cool. I wish Nvidia would give freedom to their AIBs to allow them to make customized models, not just in regards to cooling, but when it comes to voltage limits, memory configurations, and more. They used to be actually able to do that. However, lately, since the 10 series, they just don't want anyone to interfere with their planned obsolescence strategies. Anyways, that'll do it for me, you guys. We'll touch base in the next video. If you guys found this video to be informative and entertaining, then leave a like. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Be sure to check out the video description for cool links and ways to support the channel, such as using my Amazon affiliate link. And if you're interested in seeing more content like this, then consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.